which has become successful and exited, it has all been backed by VCs. I'll just give you one simple example. One company that I've been invested in started from IIM Bangalore, incubation cell, and today is funded by one of the biggest VCs on technology. And these guys, who are not even doing a revenue of more than 3 million, have access to 140 offices of that venture capitalist across the globe. So you can imagine with just one piece, the kind of value that they can add. So absolutely, you need them.
I
Okay.
give a different,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah, sure, please.
disagree a little
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Apoorva? You know, you can build a successful company without VC backing. So I think the answer I would give is, if the venture can be built to size and scale that the entrepreneur is dreaming to reach, and every entrepreneur doesn't have to dream to build a $100 million company, but if he's dreaming to build a 10 crore company, that's his dream and vision, and he can build it without raising money, he should not raise money. That would be my advice.
I was talking specifically about early stage companies.
Yeah, I'm also talking about early stage. If you can build,
Certain stage.
if you can build your company at the early stage to reach a later stage without raising money, you should not raise money. That is the clear answer I would give.
Yeah, I think it's a very good question, great question, and I think we got a great set of answers. It goes to the crux of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a housekeeping
Last, I'm
question.
going to stop with last 3 questions, 1, 2, and we'll have to choose one more after that. You can do interaction. Yeah.
Most of the times when entrepreneurs come together and start a company, you don't take care of a lot of things like founders agreement, or how is the equity share, and how do you kind of structure the company internally. Obviously, when it comes up to an investment stage, you guys kind of see a lot of mess inside because not a lot of these things are sorted out. What kind of precautions should entrepreneurs take before going into a VC? Internally, equity allocation structure, what kind of agreements?
Clean up agreement, intersay, so that it doesn't, the dirty linen doesn't get washed in public after they come up. Okay, right? Yeah.
Want to take a shot? So, this is actually one of the first tests when you come to a VC to see how close the team is
Cohesive.
and how cohesive the team is. If you are not clear on who's going to be doing what role in the company, and because of that you've justified to yourselves that this is the stakes that you have in the company and stuff like that, the VC will step in. Right? Whether you like it or not, it will be stepping in. I don't know if you know, the biggest example I can think of is AltaVista. AltaVista started by 5 people and everybody had 20%. Vinod Khosla came and the first thing he said is, which one among you is the CEO of the company? And that guy is going to get 30%. Everybody else is going to get, you can divide anything else up to you, but he's going to be my man, and I can fire him and hire him, and that's the reason he's going to get extra, right? Then there is an accountability and a deliverability associated with all of these different people and roles. So you have to be very clear on that right up front. The clearer you are, the better it is. If you want help from the VC, I think most of us would be happy to help on that front in terms of cleaning up and all that kind of stuff. But I think you've got to be very clear on the roles and goals of your team right in the beginning. And you may also want to keep aside enough of equity for the holes that you have in the company right now. You're not going to have all the people that you need. So, and that a VC will advise you on.
One piece of definite advice would be, most of the times, when you go to your father or your uncle or whoever, they kind of tend to give you the money, say 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, and you say, no, I'll give you equity. Although they are saying, no, I don't want it, but I'll give you equity. So you eventually create like 7, 8 people, father, uncle, all that in the system, and then you go to a VC, they definitely get irritated. Because of the fact that if you want to keep an unsecured loan on your books, there's another way to do it, apart from diluting equity. Eventually you're going to do the cleanup. So one advice is, keep it as much as possible to the founders. If you want unsecured loan, do paperwork accordingly, and have a clean equity holding pattern.
Yeah, before that, yeah. Go ahead.
So I have a question. 3-4 years back, there was no VC, there was no angel, there was no entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur too, but I don't know if this hype of VC I was also reading an article which said Bangalore is amongst the top 10 destinations for entrepreneurship, right?
Top 20.
Top 20, yeah.
In the world.
But we haven't seen a Dropbox or a Facebook come out of this. But I mean, there is a TutorVista, there is an InMobi. There are very few companies. I mean, there are very, very few Ganeshes of the world who can really make it big. So, how much is it really hype in your experience? What is the failure rate of Indian startups compared to the US ones? What are the things that we need to really look at, right? Is it really hype that there's so many VCs here sitting here? I don't know what's the reality check.
So basically that one top 20, only one from India to be top 20, does it measure up to the actual reality, or it's...
No, so there are very few Ganeshes, but our hope is to find those Ganeshes that exist among this audience.
Can I say thank God?
He's my neighbor, by the way, okay, right? That's why he's saying thank God.
Neighbor, school friend saying thank God, but as an investor who missed an opportunity, I'm saying we're looking for the Ganeshes in this. So I don't know what to say about hype and this. Yes, you know, we've just come through our fundraising, so we've been asked the same questions by our investors. And unfortunately, you know, an entrepreneur needs to convince one guy, and he's done. Manjiri convinced Ramesh, and she was done. We have to convince some 20, 30 guys before we are done. So anyway, that's a separate story. So it's not hype. I think we are seeing some great entrepreneurs. You have InMobi, you have Ganesh's TutorVista, of course, you have Redbus, you have Make My Trip, you have Vizuri, you have plenty of companies. I think each of us in our portfolio would have 3 or 4 companies that will make it big in the next 2-3 years. So it's not hype or anything in my view. It's real.
Yeah, sorry, in the interest of time, I have...
Ganesh, I will just add one thing to that. I think there's a very important thing is, even if you look at the valleys from the 1970s, during the 70s, there was only one big VC success, which was Intel. Everything else was a failure. That didn't stop the valley from becoming what it was. And today, even today, the failure rate is 7 out of 10. But in that 3 that are successful, you'll see a Facebook and a Google. Does it mean that India needs to produce another Facebook and Google? No. We can produce other companies in other domains and other things. So there's plenty of optimism. The reason why all the VCs are here is, you know, there is a period of momentum when lots of money gets poured in, and that's what you're seeing in the first phase. But this is not a business that's going to disappear. Entrepreneurs are going to come aboard whether you like it or not, and this is a 100-year business. In the next 20 years, I think there will be phenomenal innovations and phenomenal companies coming out of this place over here, and that's why we're all here. This is not something you're going to invest in and take it out. This is not that FDI.
Thank you. Last gentleman, last question. The rest of you can ask the question in between. I need to absolutely stop with this question. Sharp, quick.
Hi, I'm Paritosh Segal, and I also work with a few startups to help them scale up. So here's a question with one of the startups that I'm working with, is that there is a need. It's a great idea, and we need to scale up fast. But the basic question that we are facing is that should we go with an initial angel investment and, you know, probably prove certain other things. We do have customers already who are revenue paying, but should we increase the valuation and stabilize the business model, or should we go in, because we know that whenever we take that funding, which should be in another 6 months, we need to, in another 9 to 12 months or 15 months at best, we need to go in for Series A funding. So should we dilute and spend time with angel investors right now, or should we go in right now to search for the VC? What is your view?
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention.
That's why I asked you the question.
VCs are not the only ones.
Yeah, Bharati, sorry.
So this is where VC step in for, you know how we are valuable. Our value add. Yeah. So, you want me to take the answers?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay.
Go ahead.
So this was answered in many different ways in this forum today, which is depending on what you want, the minimum amount of money you need to raise for attaining the maximum milestone value that you want to do in your thing, and that will determine whether you need angel money or VC money. There's no rule that says you should only take angel money and go to VC money, Series A and Series B and all. You can go straight to Series A, you can go straight to a mergers and acquisition, you can get your company IPO. There's no rule at all in all of this stuff, right? It all depends on what you want to achieve with your business plan. That's all there is.
So Ganesh, I just have a clarifying question. The thing is that, you know, when you engage with an angel investor, and that's what was just talked about, that you need to part with certain equity. So that's one part of that. Now, again, when you go to the Series A funding, you'll again be parting certain amount of money, and typically, people would talk about nothing less than at Series A funding, maybe 25 to 30% or excess of that. So you have already diluted something with the angel investor. You spend time engaging with him, and then you're going to dilute again in another 12 to 15 months. So is it better to then engage with knowing that you need that?
No, hang on. You're going to dilute yourself for the next 10 years.
Sure, it will be.
At every stage of you're getting money in, you're going to get diluted.
Right.
Angel and Series A and VCs are just different terms. But all it means is you're going to get diluted because money is going to come into the company at some valuation. What you think your valuation is and what the investor thinks the valuation is where the negotiation comes in, right? Sure. But that's all perception. But other than the math is very, very simple. Pre-money valuation plus money put in is equal to post-money valuation, and all the other math comes out through that simple equation, right? Now, the difference is, I'll tell you one small thing, is between angel investing and VC investing, and some angels are professional investors, but lots of angels over here are not professional. They're individuals who invest in your company. They're not sitting on your board, they're not telling you what to do, they're not strategizing with you, they just put money. But there are other angel investors who may take a little more professional stance on that. That's where you need to make the choice, right? But once you get the VCs in, it'll be all professional. At the angel stage, that would be a little subtlety that you have to take care of. Other than that, everything else is, I think.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry I can't take more questions, but on that positive note, we end the session.
So I think that was an absolutely valuable discussion, great insights for a lot of people to take away. Brilliantly moderated by Mr. Ganesh as usual. Can I request the President to just give away a few thank you gifts to the speakers? Mr. President. I think they deserve that applause. So please join us for networking and dinner.